Hello Raiders, this is Ezron. Welcome to my Bastion. It is the morning of April 16th and the Champion Chase tournament as well as the Champion training event for the Underpriest Brogni fusion are now live. I will say that the point totals required to get fragments for these epics really seem to be punishing, on the borderline of punitive. But I have a plan to get them using as few resources as possible. I'm going to try to get this video edited and published soon so everyone else hopefully can see what I do and maybe take advantage of that and make their Underpriest Brogni summon event a little bit easier or achievable. So first, let's go look at the point totals required. So as you'll see here, 2,500 points for 20 Skimfos fragments really is a lot higher than we've seen in the past. I will say, for example, for the Yoshi fusion, you needed to get 1,550 points only. And I believe there were also a smaller amount at 750. I didn't take screenshots of that. You know, having an epic book here is nice, but I think, you know, the community in general would rather look at, you know, a lower point total overall, especially considering that during this fusion you really can't get extra copies of the epics. So it's really an all or nothing for most of the community. Now let's go take a second and look at the Champion training event. So here we are on the Champion training event. You know, I guess the one upside of this is it is a week long, but really 12,000 points again for Skimfos fragments is a really high number. For comparison, I wrote it down. The Iron Brago event had the highest point requirement at 8,100, so it would be just around where you get an ancient shard here. And I personally didn't even go to 8,100 points. I got, you know, the lower amount, which is in the 12 or 1,500 range, and used other events to make up for the point differences. So right now my point is, or my plan is, to grind this as hard as possible and see how far I get. And depending on my level of success, that will determine whether or not I can get Underpriest Brogni, or whether or not I settle for the 3 smaller epics and don't get Skimfos. There's also a lot of interplay available between the Champion Chase event and the Champion Training Tournament, the Champion Training event. And you'll see how I take advantage of that to maximize resource efficiency shortly. So my plan is to use no more than the 40 ancient shards I have here to get all of the points I need for the Champion Chase tournament. And I'm doing that largely through summons and fusions. The first point we have here is the Relic Keeper fusion, which I have everything I need to get going, and the Broadmaw fusion, which I will summon a copy of, which gets me about half of the points I need, and then I believe I can make the rest with only 40 ancient shards. So let's go see if my plan comes to pass, and it's possible. Hopefully this will be a way that everyone can save some of their resources and then use them for the Champion Chase, or I guess it would be the Summon Rush event later in the fusion, with a high degree of success. So I can now fuse Justikar. I get points in the Champion Chase tournament, 50 of them as you just saw, and then I will go level him using potions and refuse. I don't know that everyone wants to see that, so I might edit that out later, but here we go. Scroll through all of my people and find him. Come on, Justikar, where are you? And there we go. So we will level him up really quickly in the tavern. Now, you had a lot of warning from playing that this was coming. I didn't think they gave us really much warning about how difficult they intended on making it, and that's why this is sort of an interesting exercise to go through. So I tend to save a lot of potions and use them during events more than anything, just for reasons like this. Now, I know I need to keep a budget of about 90 or 100 void potions. In the event I do get Skimfos, because he's available only very late as a fragment summon, and then we'll need to rush to get him ascended and leveled up in order to get Under Priest Brogni. And then here's where chickens are a great resource. I also notice here, save that, so I'll have an extra set of energy to use later today in the champion training event. And then finally, level that up. That's points for champion training. So is this. And then we have to ascend him, also champion training points. The good news is he's a rare, so the potions tend to be the small ones and aren't so conflicting with the need to do on epics. Now here's where it's a little bit of a resource drain compared to your epics, but not terrible. And as you can see here, I have a fair number. So all this should be points for champion training as well. Now I'm going to go check while we're here and make sure the rest of the rares required for Relic Keeper are leveled up, which I'm pretty certain I saw that they weren't on the way. And we'll make sure that everyone is good to go. Right, like Sorceress, for example, required for the fusion. I'll ascend her real fast. Again, getting points in the champion training event that then I will apply to the champion chase tournament. Sorceress is now done. And I'll check, I just saw Executioner. Need to get him handled. There we go. As well as Templar, who I will ascend real fast. Then I will have to get out of his training slot. And the last one. And we'll upgrade his level. Just as a final enablement of using him in the fusion. And he is done. Now we can go back and fuse Relic Keeper, which has the side effect of freeing up space to use for pulling shards, as well as points in the champion chase. So I spent also about 500,000 silver so far. Got an epic. I had 250 tournament points. There we go. Then while we're here, we'll look at the Broadmaul fusion. I have all the parts I need except for Huntress. But she was a fragment summon that came out of the tag team arena. So again, 50 free points in the champion chase. And then, you know, I've already had copies of both Relic Keeper and the Lizard Man Epic for some time, so I will turn around and feed them and use them as books. But it's not that's not required, or it's, you know, that's optional if you don't already have them. I generally save a copy of everything just to be safe, but that's up to you. So here we are back at the Broad Maw Fusion screen. I made sure that all of the components, all of the input champions were leveled and ascended. I just didn't put that in the video because once you've seen it, it's really not that interesting. And now I can fuse them. This is another 1,000,000 silver, which is also a scarce resource. But at this point, I should have near to 700 points in the Champion Chase tournament. Let's go verify that right now. You're clicking into Champion Chase. And so I'm certainly not to 750, but we'll see where I go. It only shows 350 points. That's super interesting. Perhaps there's a drag. I expected between summoning the other items a higher number. Interesting. So confirmed, that was just update lag. I got the toast that pops up that shows your new tournament position, and it did update to 700. That was just processing on the back end. So then my plan is to pull as few shards as possible. I somehow now think my math was off when I did this, because the back of the envelope math I did said I should end up close to 1,100 points for fusing and pulling all these things. So apparently I did something wrong in my Excel calculator. But now I'm going to pull as few shards as possible to get to the 2,500 points. Oh, I know why I did this. Because I also saved Yoshi. That's the other 600 points that's unaccounted for. They announced this fusion when the last one was still there, so I saved Yoshi. I will summon him. That gets me points in the Champion Chase tournament, a fair number of them because he's a legendary, and will put me to 1,200 points. So there we go. I've got 1,200 points now. I need 2,500, the difference being 1,300. And then my math says, based on double chances, I should expect an epic based on probability and the law of large numbers about every 7. So I put my budget for 1 every 10 pull, which means I should have to do 4 10 pulls to get everything I need for the Champion Chase tournament. So give me just a minute to clean up and make sure I have good space, and we will pull these 40 and see how my math and predictions go. So I'm back, and I made sure I have enough space to do some pulls. I will also say that, you know, any usable champion I get this, I view as a bonus. It would be a giant win to just get Underpriest Brogni out of the box and not have to do anything. Or there are a fair number of epics that I don't have, you know, like Stag Knight or Allure or Royal Guard that would really make me super happy. But anything usable I get here is a bonus. I'm going to feed everything to Yoshi that is a dupe just for points in the Champion Training Tournament, and then when I get through this, we'll go examine that and see how many essentially free points I got just for doing my other activities in the game. So here we go with the first 10 pull. One epic out of the box at Jizzo, nothing, but so far I'm on point with probability. This wasn't the best of pulls, but 340 points hits the mark of what I need, and I have a fair amount of food. Here we continue with our next 10 pull. Come on, please, something good. Nice bonus would be a great way to start the Friday. Mistress of Hymns, someone statistics, but again, no usable champions. So, nothing I really need, but I'm on track for, I believe, getting the points in the Champion Chase tournament. Please give me a minute while I clean up some space, and I will be right back. And I'm back after a slight vault cleanup with the end of the Ancient Shards. I think I should just need to pop these 2 10 pulls and be good for the Champion Chase tournament. Here we go. I've gotten completely nothing useful so far. Let's see if I continue the trend. I just need 1 epic in each 10 pull, and I will be good for my points. Now this is an interesting one. I did not get any epics. Not so awesome. Let's see the next. If I get 2 epics, or if should I get luck into a legendary, I'll be back on track. Let's see what we do. There we go. 1 legendary. Oh, 2 epics. I should be good for points then. I actually might not have a Karam. That's interesting. He's not generally reviewed well. Chancellor Yasmin might be helpful for me. She's a dupe, so that could end up being a skill book. Let's go flip over to the Champion Chase tournament and see if my math worked as I predicted. And here we go. So yes, everything worked as expected, even with that one really questionable 10 pull on a 2x event. I ended up at, as you'll see here, 2,560 points, which is enough to get to 2,500 for the Skimfos fragments. Now, if you're in my position, another 400 points for a legendary book is kind of a good deal. For me, that would be 7, I think, voids. So I will probably not do that. I'm going to save everything for the next summoning event, which, given the point totals so far, I'm expecting will be a... So here we are at the Champion Training event. I ended up with almost 750 points of just feeding food, of doing what I was going to do anyway. You know, given we need 12,000, that's maybe in the 5% of what we need, which better than nothing, but still not awesome. I'm going to then end this video with the slides that I tend to show when I pull shards, my mercy system counters. Again, I'd really like it if Raid made this visible in the UI. I wasn't expecting a legendary because I was at 1 before this, so now I'm at a total of 41 from Ancient Shards, and then 4 from my last epic. So we're not going to do a whole lot, and anything I would have gotten would be just luck that way. We'll see how it goes in the next summoning event. I'm going to have to burn a lot of void shards, and I'm getting relatively close. I'm over halfway and have about another 30 more for the mercy system counter there. So hopefully everyone can see this video and, you know, maybe do a little bit of double dipping and work on fusions if you have the other people sitting around, just to save yourself some points in the Under Priest Brogni event. This is Ezron signing off. Please like and subscribe if you get value out of my content. Have a good day.